So today is the first day of spring, and coincidentally I'm in the northern Wheatbelt to see the wildflowers and do some landscape photography. Got here late last night after midnight and have spent all day today just wandering around, exploring the area, checking out the wildflowers, and it happens to be a pretty great year for it thanks to some good widespread rain out in this area. So one of the spots that I've found just while I was driving around today is this big hill behind me there, and we've got some wildflowers in front of it. There's also a lot of weeds around here as well, but I'm gonna have a go trying to get some wildflowers in a foreground along with the hill up there. There's lots of wildflowers, but there's also lots of flies out here at the moment. So that was a nice shock when the sun came up this morning. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get a shot from down the bottom of the hill here, looking up towards the top. And at the same time, I'm gonna try and get some shots from the top of the hill because there's some really nice rocks up there, which I'll show you in a minute, which I think will glow really nicely in the sunset. It was quite cloudy today, but it's cleared up a lot. So yeah, might be pushing my luck a little bit, trying to do two different compositions in one afternoon with two different cameras at once, but I'm gonna give it the best I can and see if we can get some nice shots this afternoon. So the spot that I'm standing in right now is one of the spots that I was thinking about setting up a camera, and we've got these nice white pom-pom wildflowers in the foreground, but as well as that there's a lot of capeweed. Capeweed is these little yellow daisies. I guess a lot of people would probably mistake them for wildflowers, but they're not native to WA. There's nothing unique about them, and they are actually a pest plant, so I have no guilt whatsoever trampling all over those, but I'm going to stay well off all of the actual native wildflowers and keep my distance. I don't want to accidentally squash any of those. I feel like it's a bit hypocritical to go and show off something that you love and also ruin it at the same time. So it's good to know your stuff when you're out in nature doing landscape photography, so you don't accidentally do the wrong thing. But the biggest challenge that I think I'm going to have here with finding a composition is just the foreground is a little bit messy. The pom-poms sort of stop in front of this dead shrubbery in the foreground here, and they don't extend up the hill any further beyond that. So I've tried to find the clearest sort of area that I can where that won't affect the image too much. In an ideal world, I would just have wildflowers and then that hill glowing in the golden light later on, but I'll make do with this, and that's one of the reasons why I decided that I would set two cameras up, because I want wildflowers in a shot, but I'm not sure if this is going to work. But then up there I think I've got a nicer composition, but it doesn't really have any wildflowers in it. So I'm going to get this camera set up and make my way around the side of the hill, hike up there and get the other one set up, and then wait for some nice light and I'll start shooting. So I've got the first camera set up, and it took me a little bit longer than I would have liked. The sun is getting fairly low on the horizon already, so I've got to hurry up. but it's just a really simple composition. Wildflowers in the foreground, hill in the back. Nothing too crazy to it. I'm just going to do 2 shots, one for the wildflowers and then one focused on the hill in the back, and then I'll blend them together just to make sure I've got everything nice and tack sharp. And I didn't have to get in amongst the pom-poms really at all. Just carefully place my tripod in this bit of capeweed here. But the light's getting good now, so better start shooting. Can already see the hillside up there starting to get a bit of that golden light. I haven't left myself too much time to muck about this arvo, but luckily I was down here earlier this morning and I've sussed it all out, so I've got a bit of a plan. Otherwise, if I was rocking up to a shoot this late, I'll probably be quite stressed out. Hopefully this one works out and all comes together nicely. There's some caves up in this hill, which I'll show you in a sec. And there's clearly some feral goats living in them. I can smell them before I even get to the top of the hill. So I wonder if I'll have a run-in or if they've moved on elsewhere for the day. Find out very shortly. Not bad at all. And this is where I plan on setting the second camera up, just on the edge of these rocks here, down overlooking the valley. Let's get to it. So here's the shot from the top. Hopefully you can see the back of the camera here. I've got this little rocky ridgeline in the foreground with some nice light on there. A little bit of foreground interest a little bit further out as well. And then of course we've got the setting sun just behind that hill there. It's giving us a nice little starburst effect in the image. So I'm going to bracket this one. Start off nice and dark. And let that do its thing, and I'll blend those together later. And now that I've done that, it's time to run like mad down to my camera at the bottom of the hill there. I wasn't joking. Oh, that light up on the hill there is so good. Just what I wanted. Right, let's adjust this again. Quickly focus on the foreground. I'll grab a shot. And then up to that rock there. And we're done. And just like that, the good light is gone. I really wish that time of day lasted a little bit longer, but it doesn't, and things get a little bit crazy when you're trying to make the most of it by using 2 cameras at once, especially if you've got to go up and down a hill to get between the 2. But I think overall I've managed to get a couple of decent shots. Maybe I could have done a little bit better if I wasn't focusing specifically on trying to get the wildflowers in the frame, but that is the whole reason that I came out this way after all, so I've got to accept the challenge and give it a go. I'd love to hear what you thought of the images in the comments down below, and stay tuned because I may, fingers crossed, no guarantees, have a couple more videos coming from this trip. Thanks for watching.